everyone. This is Diane at Cornerstone Crafts. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and friends. Thank you all so much for your views and likes. It really means a lot to my daughter and I and our channel. Thank you so much for your support. Before we start our sewing project, I thought I would show a little bit of haul I got. I bought this kit to make a craft bag. I might have a video of this coming up later. And I also bought some extra fabric. I want to use this for a project bag for my cross stitching. I just thought it was really cute. The dress form, and it's got like the featherweight machines on it, which I love.
Right up your alley.
Cross stitch, thread, all this. And of course you have to have a pull for your bag. So I also found these and I thought they were adorable. And that's all I got there. And at the featherweight store, I ordered a 1/4-inch foot for my machine. For my featherweight. And this is for quilting, to keep you evenly spaced.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's kind of... I had it on my other machine. But it's nice that you can buy so much stuff for your featherweight machines. There's quite a few places out there. And so, what I'm going to make today is a bowl koozie. And I'm going to use this template by Creative Grids. And if you wait to the end of the video, I'll be announcing a giveaway. But anyway, I want to use this. I've made bowl koozies before without a template, but this to me is just easier, and plus I like the rounded corners. And a couple of things I had bought, and you know, here it is, June. I'm already thinking Christmas, so I'm thinking of Christmas ideas, and I saw these. These are kits, fabric and everything already, and I don't have to think about... Well, plus I got these because they didn't have any more yards yet, but they had the kits. So I bought those two, and I bought this one. And you also need, when you're making them, you need cotton batting. You have to have cotton, and you have to make sure your fabric is cotton when you make a bowl koozie, because otherwise you go to put it in the microwave, it's not a very pleasant experience. In fact, it could be dangerous. So you just make sure that you have cotton fabric, cotton batting. I got that. And then this is what we're going to be using today. I thought this was pretty would be pretty as a bowl koozie. All right, that was pretty much all my haul. I do this on my kitchen table because that's where my best light is. Alright, let's open this up. This template comes in 2 pieces. You can make a small cozy. I say cozy, but or what have you. And like I said, it comes in 2 sizes. And this makes the small, that makes the large. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's a sticky thing I need to get off. If you see, there's those little sliding, keeps it from sliding. All right, and what I like about their templates is that they got the sliding little dots, and it keeps your fabric from shifting on your fabric, which is why I love their. And also, I forget what this is called. This little,
That's a code.
just this code thing here. You can scan that with your phone, and it'll take you to their website, and it'll show you exactly also how to use it. All right, let me get set up, and we'll get started. All right, to start with, one of the first things you want to do is to make sure your fabric is nice and smooth and flat. As you can see, this has got all kinds of little wrinkles and stuff like that. And if you go to fold it, you could run into trouble by this popping out and you would cut your fabric wrong, and that would not be good. So what I always like to do is just take and spray it just a little with a little bit of water, starch. You don't have to do anything real fancy. And then press it. And just try to get most of those wrinkles out as you can. I mean, you can alleviate a lot of issues just by making sure your fabric is nice and smooth and pressed. And, you know, do it for both. This is the, actually, I don't know if I mentioned, but this fabric, it has two sides. You can flip them wrong side out, or wrong side out, or you can flip them, you use either side. Reversible, there you go. So this will be either the inside or the outside, it doesn't matter. And press that. And get all your wrinkles out. Alright. What I like to do is I'll just leave the right side out when I go to cut. You want to make sure you don't cut into this selvage, because that'll ruin it too, but I just left it on. But anyway, you want to fold this in half. Maybe I should do it like this. You want to fold your fabric. You want to make sure that it's not, you want to make sure your edges fairly meet so that you're not going to go cut and there's no fabric underneath. I hope you understand what I mean. And then fold it over. So you're going to have, basically, you're cutting through 8 layers, I think it is. Make sure that fits. You want to have your template where it fits like this on your fabric. And then it's ready to cut out. But let me get this out of the way. That would not make me happy. You fold your fabric, you want to make sure that the template is up to the edges on both of these sides. And you're ready to cut. And this is why I like this is a new rotary mat I bought. I shared it in a video. I can turn it without turning my fabric, which I like. That's a sharp blade. And then I turn it back. And see what I mean? You can't move your template, which I really like. And a lot of people make a mistake, and I know I've done the same thing. You want to put your hand down like this and say, I didn't have the little anti-skid things. You sometimes can push your whole template while you're cutting, because you're pushing with this hand. You may not realize it. And if you do that and you make it just a tad bit off, and you keep repeating that mistake, before you know it, you've added an inch to your quilt or project or what have you, and it doesn't make for it makes a lot of hard issues for you. It could totally throw you off. I'm just getting used to this cutter. Change positions. I would do better if I stood up, probably, but there. And then here's your pieces. Open it up. There you go. Ta-da! All right, let's cut the cotton batting now. All right, got the batting ready to cut, and you need two of these, one for the top and one for the bottom piece, but it's so thick I chose to cut just one side at a time. You really want to make sure that's and cut this out. I'm just gonna go like that. It's really not too hard. You don't have to push down too much. The bulk is making sure you get through it and not have any little leave-overs like that there. And here. There. And there's one of your batting and your fabric goes on top. Like so. All right, let me cut the other one out. I'll be right back. I just wanted to say that when you fold your fabric over, this is the other backing I'm doing, feel along the lines to make sure you don't have any lumps or bumps like your fabric's laying like it's supposed to. If you do, you need to adjust your fabric to make sure that you're cutting it right. So that's real important to do. Getting ready to cut the second one. And like I said, just make sure you fill your fabric to make sure there's no lumps in between the layers. That way you hopefully won't have any mishaps. And then you put your template on. Make sure it's nice and even with the edges. And I'm gonna stand up to cut this. It's just a lot easier. I was trying to sit down. It's much easier if you stand up to cut because you get more of a bird's eye view. Put your hand like that, hold down on it. There. There's that. Hold down. Make sure you're lined up. Good. Good to go. I'm doing mine in sections. That's because that's just the way I roll. Turn it a little bit. The curve is probably a little bit more difficult even for me. I mean, it's just hard to do. And see how I got rough edges there? That's okay. You can go and trim them up. Even it up. And now I want to cut this other piece. Make sure I'm even there. Yeah, there we go. The batting's probably your hardest thing to stitch. Or to cut, not stitch. Okay. Put our rotary cutter away. And we're done with that. And now you need to take your fabric and fold your top piece, fold in half, and just kind of pinch the corners a little bit with your finger, like that. Open her up. Lay her out. I had to borrow a ruler from my daughter, but this will work. I told her the numbers are so big, I think even I can see them. You line it up right from one pinch mark to the other pinch mark, and then mark it, because you're going to stitch on these lines. This is an old marker I've had for a long time. It works. And eventually you'll stitch on those lines. Now you need to fold it the other direction, because you're going to stitch on them too. And I like to make sure I'm getting... We try to be real precise on this, because these are darts you're going to be doing. And then fold this one. Oh, that doesn't want to lay down right. Fold it this way. Okay. Do that. Pinch your ends again. Open her up. Put your ruler in. Line it up. You want like just right before that where you pinched it. And then mark. There. And you'll be stitching on these lines. And let me mark the other one and I'll be right back. Another way you can do it is just take and line these two ends, your one end together, and press it really hard with your fingers. And the other side, put that together. Press it, open her up, and you can see your little marks here and down here. Line your ruler up with those. Here. I have some dogs that are wanting to play. They always want to play when you're on making a video, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Mark it. And now we are ready to stitch. Let me get that set up, I'll be back. Okay, now you want to take your backing and put your backing and your top together to get it ready to sew. And I'm just using these clips, my first time using them. I'm not sure. So far they seem to be okay. Anyway, you go around. I have my trigger finger, it wants to lock up on me. But just go around and do that all the way around, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we want to sew our lines. And the hard part is seeing that line. It's not too bad. And you just sew along the line. You can do this side and you do the other side. And you do that to both sides. I like to clip my threads as I go. So I hate to have to go back and clip threads. And then you'll sew this side. I'll do this side and then I'll do the other one off camera. I'll lock my threads. On a featherweight, you do have reverse, but it's better just to do a small stitch a couple of times. It's easier on it. And that's what it looks like. It's hard to tell on this color. It'll show better on the darker. Alright, let me get the other one ready and sewed and I'll be back. Alright, we'll do this one now. And you want to hold your threads because it'll keep you from getting a lot of jams. I'm going to shorten my length a little bit on your machine, which is not a good thing. And you just stitch along the line. Kind of hold your fabric out a little bit taut. Not tight, but just so that there's no puckers. And then just stitch along the line. See? For an old machine, this machine has a beautiful stitch. This one I call Lucy, and she's a 1948 featherweight, and it kind of blows my mind. I've had other machines I spent thousands, if not hundreds of dollars on, and here this one is from 1948, and she's still just as good as probably the day she was made. I mean, she's not as fast as some machines, but that works good too for me. I go at a little slower pace. But I really like using her. I don't know if you've ever heard of Lori Holtz, but she's the one that got me hooked on these machines. Okay, and then you remove the clips. We'll be using those again. And now we need to sew our darts, I guess you want to call them. Now you want to make your darts, make sure all your 4 layers are lined up, and just put a little clip to hold it. And you can probably even put one here at the top. Would help. Alright, now we're going to sew our darts on the bowl. And just a little note, I said I'd got a 1/4 inch foot, which I did, And either I ordered the wrong one or they sent the wrong one. So I'm going to do it old school. I put a piece of tape down that's a 1/4 inch over. And I don't put it on the black part because I don't want to ruin it. But I'm going to line that up. And lock my threads. Move that. And then see how that makes just a little dart.
That's good.
Okay, let me do one more, and then I'll finish the others. You have 8 of them with the top all together and the back piece all together. Make sure your fabrics line up good. Your batting. Put that together. Okay. Hold your threads. Lock your threads a couple times. Okay. Lock your threads. And there you go. Let me finish the others and I'll be back. Alright, now we're got our darts done. Now we need to sew the 2 sides together. And you want to put right sides together and pin them. I like to match up my stitching lines there. And then you want to match the darts up also. And I like to take and spread them apart a little bit with my fingers. And I put a pin. And I'll put a dart, or what do you call it? And then I'll put that. Hold this together. I kind of do overkill. I put a lot of pins, clips.
Better have too many than not enough.
Yeah. I suppose. It's hard. It's a little getting used to these clips, but so far they're pretty nice. This is pretty much, you can see how it makes the bowl shape. I'm going to stitch them together now. You need to leave an opening so you can turn it right side out. And it's much better to do it on a straighter side than say on this curve, because you're going to have to stitch that close by hand or however you choose to do it. And it just makes it for a lot, easier way to do it. And go up a little bit. Lock my threads after I hold my threads. And we're off. And I just like to go slow because I want to get my curves, where they look round, or should hopefully look round, and not some odd foreign shape. I was so disappointed that foot didn't fit, and I'm hoping I can get one. And on the corners where the darts are, you'll want to turn it, because you kind of want a point right there. And this is really stitching it really good. When I pivot my corner, I kind of like to put my needle down. It kind of helps hold everything. And then, there we go. I love this little machine. Another thing, we're coming up to the end here, and I'm going to go past this little clip. And you want to stop, because not that I've ever done this before. Actually, I have. You'll end up sewing up your opening, and you'll get there and you'll wonder why you can't turn it wrong side out. So let me finish this. Pivot. And before you turn it wrong side out, you want to clip. That's good. Scissors aren't sharp enough. I had to use these scissors, as my other scissors are not wanting to cut. And I need to get them sharpened if I can. But you want to go around and cut along the curves and the dips. But don't cut into the stitching area or you make a hole. I mean, you can fix it, but you just really don't want to do that. couldn't do this channel if it wasn't for my daughter helping me. I disabled, and so I don't get out much, and I just thought this would be something I could do, you know, to share with other people. And I know I have a lot to learn, and I'm striving to do better because I know I can do that. I know with my daughter helping me and God's help, I can accomplish anything. And that's what I want to do. And if I can help anyone, would make my day. And like I said, this is all new to me. I'm not a very outgoing vocal person, so I'm working on it though. And sorry, I'm concentrating. This will make your life a lot easier clipping these corners when you go to turn it wrong side out. And I think I've made it all around. Alright. Now the fun part is turning it right side out. Hoping that I left a big enough opening. Hopefully I can. Now we have it turned right side out. You need to poke out your corners. And I like using this. It's by Dritz. And it kind of reminds me of a bone folder. But it helps smooth out the corners. What have you. You know, you gotta be careful. You don't want to poke a hole all the way through.
You haven't done that before, have you?
Not yet. Don't jinx me. But you don't have to have this special tool for years and years. Making dolls and stuff. I used dowel rod.
Yep.
And this side here, we'll have to, well, you can just top sew it, but I'm gonna whip stitch it shut. But first, before I do that, I want to press it. And let me get that set up and I'll be back with that. Okay, now we need to close our opening right here. And we'll just, I think they call it a ladder stitch. We'll just kind of whip stitch it closed. It's not really a whip stitch, but it's real easy to do. Here's my needle. I was going to show you how I knot a needle. If I remember how to do this. You might have to work on this one. Huh? You take your needle, thread, lay this end over this hand like that, wrap it around, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, however many times you want to wrap it around, and then pull it through, and it makes a little knot. You can trim that. And then you want to start your thread. Just kind of go up. This is kind of tough. Next to the seam where you stitch with the sewing machine. Bring your thread through. Make sure you tuck that little knot inside. And then you just bring it alongside. Pull it through on the, say, the light colored fabric side. And then just take a little stitch close to that thread straight across. And then just like you did on the other side. And then straight across again on the other side, working yourself back and forth. I like to take little stitches, but pull it tight, taut. You don't want to pull it too tight. I'm doing this without my glasses, so. I had to take out a thread because it bugged me. Sometimes you can lay it across so you can line up and get in the right spot. Next time I'll use my glasses. This needle is not the right needle. Pull your stitches tight, but not where they pucker, because you want this to stay closed. I can't. Okay, we're at the end. Now what I like to do to knot it is come up again, kind of come up in the seam or right here on the side, and I just kind of knot it like that, and then I bring it back inside and go back the other way before I cut it off. And that's it. And then now let me set up my iron and I'll be right back. So there's your bowl koozie sewed up, and you can stop right here if you wanted, but I'm gonna do a little bit of top stitching. And what you need to do is you need to roll your seams so that you know, they stand out good. And I like to use this. Just kind of helps hold them. It's showing a little bit more than I wanted to. And then we'll press it. And like that. It really pretty much, if you do all those clips like I showed you, it'll pretty much lay the way it's supposed to. This one. Okay. I think my iron is hot. Let me give it a little jizz. I like to spray the whole thing, that way it kind of gives it a time to soak in a little bit and not be quite as wet. Wet? Is that a word? I guess that's 2 words. And then you just want to press this really good. These little irons work great.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, my daughter got me that for Christmas one year. Especially after I killed my big iron. I guess after knocking it off the ironing board about 20 times, that's did it in. But I like it. They're not that expensive. I just like to hold it there for a bit. And like I said, you can stop right here. But I'm going to do a little sewing around the edge.
Like a decorative stitch?
Yeah, or just this top stitch. Straight stitch. You know, this also would be cute as just like a little basket.
Or a hat.
Yeah, you can wear it. My daughter's the comedian. And then I like to smooth it out a little bit and then just kind of go inside with the iron. Go up the sides a little bit. These turned out really cute. Or this one did. You might just press right there where those pleats, darts, whatever you want to call them. There. Okay. Now I'm gonna top stitch. Alright, we'll do our top stitching now. Oh. And you just go around the edge. Like so. I like to lay that flat before I get there and do my and then switch position. This is just a little bit This would be a lot easier if I had a 1/4 inch foot, and I'm hoping I can get one. I should be able to. You just take your time going around the corners. It's not that hard. Just kind of hold your fabric smooth when you're stitching. Finish it now after 2 thread breaks and a broken needle. You know, if it went too perfect, it wouldn't be no fun. This keeps it interesting, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna hold my threads. Do a couple of locking stitches. And finish this thing up. And we are on the home stretch. Couple locking stitches. Clip your threads. Threads. There it is. Let me get a bowl. I'll show you how it looks. Okay, here it is done, finished. And what I like about it is I like the rounded corners. And I have this bowl. It's kind of big. You know, if you have a smaller bowl, it might be better. But it fits in there. You stick that in your microwave, and then you have these little corners to hold it by. Or you can hold it down here and keep from burning yourself. And you can also reverse it and put the dark side in, light side out.
Nippy spiffy.
So, anyway, I thought that was fun to make using that template. But I hope you like this video, and if it helped you decide whether you want to get that template or not, I bought mine at Fat Quarter Shop. I'll try to include the link down below where I got it. And they make really inexpensive gifts. I mean, you could make a whole set of these, probably 4 of them for just a little over half a yard, and that'd be a real inexpensive but nice gift. And like I said at the beginning of the video that I would have a giveaway. My giveaway is when I reach 75 subscribers, I will give a set of 4 of these away. And in order to enter, you have to subscribe and like.
And comment.
And comment. And I will randomly pick a winner when we come to that point. So I hope everybody liked this video, and I wanted to say everybody have a good weekend. Please like and subscribe. It really helps. And everybody take care, and God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.